over Port-au-Prince, you find groups handing out food. It's become a lot more organized. This is a food distribution by a group called Action Against Hunger. Hundreds of people here, as you can tell, have lined up. They've been waiting for quite some time. They have a truck. Each one will get a box filled with high-protein biscuits that they can then take home to their family, and they're ready to eat. They don't need refrigeration. They don't need to be cooked. It's a high-protein meal that's ready to go. Feeding the survivors. We were at one distribution center yesterday. You saw there an encouraging sight, but not always. 2 trucks of rice here today, rushed by a crowd. Brazilian peacekeepers responding with pepper spray. We're going to see more of this chaos, more of the unrest if the aid doesn't reach the men, women, and kids who desperately need it. My colleagues Gary Tuchman, Penhaul, and Ivan Watson join me now. Carl, you were at that scene. What was it like?
Well, initially we got wind of it because we saw literally hundreds and thousands of people running 3 city blocks to get and following this aid. And when it started to be given out, from the experience the previous day, these people knew there wasn't enough aid to get around. They saw 2 trucks only. That generated a huge push against the barricades. People started to get crushed, started to get trampled, and so the Brazilians stepped in with that pepper spray, and of course it made it worse. These people showed up for something to eat, and they end up choking on pepper spray.
Ivan, have you been surprised at how orderly things are, though? I mean, that seems more the exception than the rule, certainly, that we've seen.
Today I saw missionaries unloading a couple hundred pounds of food off of a plane. They were surrounded by hundreds of people, and not everybody got food, but nobody got violent. It was pretty calm, even though there were only a handful of unarmed missionaries.
Right. Gary, what'd you do today?
We went to this forgotten and ignored village. It's called Budon, and it's a village that you can't drive to. You have to hike down a mountain because it's in this breathtaking valley. And the government of Haiti tried to condemn the village because it was dangerous because of mudslides before this earthquake. Needless to say, a lot of people died, the bodies are still there, and there's been no aid that's... What is that?
It's fine, it's fine.
It looks like we had a little power surge or something.
No, it's a power line fell, so all the lines are moving, so a lot of people went running, so it's fine.
We've had a lot of interesting experiences standing in front of the crowds here since we've been here. Yeah, as many of you recall, the first night we had people running down the streets, thousands of them, because they thought a tsunami was coming. It turned out to be an ugly rumor.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Occasionally the power lines fall, and it kind of shakes things up a little bit. Sit back down.
Let's sit back down.
That's right.
But it's amazing. There's still, there's thousands of people in this park, and they've been here for 2 weeks now. It's incredible.
Is there any sense of, there was talk, I remember a week ago, about moving people out of town to kind of a central location. Do you guys hear this anymore?
Well, this relates to what I was just talking about, because there is, the government has a plan to move hundreds of thousands of people into tracts of land outside the Port-au-Prince metropolitan area. So these people who live in this small village, they want to get out. They don't think it's safe. But I asked them, do you know about the scheme? Do you know about the plan that the government has to move you and people like you to these huge empty tracts of land? They go, we've never heard about it before, so it's not being communicated.
It does seem, Carl, that there's not much communication from the central government. They say they're using radio, but you don't see political leaders out on the streets rallying people or talking to people.
Yeah, no, really, we've seen none of that. And the other key issue is as well, of course, the number of tents. Where are these people going to be housed? How long is it going to take to build that, even if they do stake out those tracts of land? And this is what, talking to people today, aid workers today, they were saying the key thing now is to at least get some temporary shelter, some temporary tents there, rather than just these sheets we've seen out of here, because the first sign of rain, this is going to be a very different picture. I get the sense that people are getting much more desperate as the days go by, not only for shelter, but also for food, because the small stockpiles they had are dwindling. And we get the first rains on top of that. Could be a very different picture.
Yeah, there's a lot of concern about rain here. A lot of houses are perched precariously on hillsides that have been denuded of any kind of shrubbery or anything to stop mud from sliding. So if rains come, the fear is there's going to be a lot of worse situations, and certainly for the people in the camps, it's going to be miserable.
It raises terrible questions about sanitation in these sprawling camps, and just imagine they're going to be wading through mud. It would be a nightmare.
Yeah. In terms of water, what have you guys seen? Most places still do not have, most people do not have access to clean and fresh drinking water unless it's either handed out or in sort of these large pumps which have been set up by aid groups.
I may just spin it into a different direction. I did look at efforts to try to get power back, to turn the lights back on in this town yesterday, and we did see municipal workers out really hard at work. They've been at work for more than a week trying to get some of the substations going again and predicting that in about 8 days they could get power going again. So that's a big step forward, right? The city's dark right now. The problem is that the initial electric power stations were so bad and poorly neglected that they could only supply about 8 hours of power a day to any given neighborhood in this city.
We got to leave there. I've been watching. Carl Penhaul, Gary Tuchman, appreciate it. Thanks very much.